The film begins with a young boy named Lee Hao-ming who's really into playing a virtual reality game. At that time, he doesn't have a job and spends most of his time playing games, but he also helps catch criminals by looking at footage from street cameras sometimes. He finds his life exciting and never gets bored. On the other hand, there's a skilled hacker named Fei Qiao. He's good-looking and decides to take a big offer to make a lot of money using his hacking skills. In a casino, the boss is trying to get more money from people gambling online. But things get intense when Fei Qiao shows up with Su Yi, who's really good at fighting. At that time, Su Yi starts attacking the guards right away. While this is happening, Fei Qiao calmly starts hacking into the casino system. Eventually, they manage to steal money from the casino, causing people who were gambling online to lose their money. After successfully hacking the casino, Fei Qiao and Su Yi travel to Malaysia to meet their boss, Takeshi Mori. He's a big businessman from Japan who also enjoys painting masks. During the meeting, Fei Qiao told Takeshi that their mission was a success. But instead of relaxing, Takeshi gave them a job to hack the Oasis system, a famous program in Malaysia known for its top security. Upon hearing that, Fei Qiao felt overwhelmed by this task and knew he needed help. Even though he was hesitant at first, the high-paid convinced him to accept the challenge. After the meeting, Fei Qiao and Su Yi decided to spend some time together in Malaysia. They went on a date and enjoyed a fancy dinner, but Fei Qiao couldn't stop thinking about finding the right person to help with the mission. Then he remembered a hacker contest he participated in years ago under the name Zebra. Despite Zebra's skills, he was defeated by an unexpected opponent called Captain Pirate. Back then, Fei Qiao figured out that the perfect person to help him with the mission was none other than Captain Pirate, the person he competed against in the past. Now we move to Shanghai, where Lee Hao-ming is shopping at a minimarket. Suddenly, he notices a girl who seems to be getting closer to him. Instead of feeling wary, Lee Hao-ming starts to feel nervous because he's never really been close to a girl before. He waits until the girl goes to the cashier and then stands behind her in line. At that moment, the girl realized she couldn't pay for her groceries because she forgot to bring cash and her mobile banking wasn't working. There, Lee Hao-ming kindly offered to pay for her, and he even offered to help her check her account for any mistakes. It turned out her account had been hacked by someone. While Lee Hao-ming was relaxed, the girl secretly placed a tapping device in his bag. It turns out the girl is Su Yi, who is pretending to get close to a skilled hacker named Captain Pirate, who is actually Lee Hao-ming. Later that evening, Su Yi, dressed in a revealing outfit, confidently approached Fei Qiao, who was focused on watching the news about the Oasis program. Not only that, she also checked the bug attached to Lee Hao-ming's bag. The bug showed Lee Hao-ming, who is a fan of Japanese culture and single, feeling overly confident after being approached by a girl. Because she felt ignored by her boyfriend, Su Yi decided to playfully tease Fei Qiao. Surprisingly, Fei Qiao gave her a ring, which made her blush. He explained that the ring could be useful for their mission. Annoyed, Su Yi pretended to throw the ring into the swimming pool while still holding onto it. Fei Qiao panicked and quickly jumped in to retrieve it. The next day, Lee Hao-ming attended a Japanese cosplay event. Suddenly, he was approached by someone dressed as a mascot who led him to the restroom. It turned out the mascot was actually a Shanghai policeman named Chow. Chow knew Lee Hao-ming's identity as a skilled hacker in the cyber world. He invited Lee Hao-ming to join the police force to help catch a criminal from the hacker world, who turned out to be Zebra. At first, Lee Hao-ming couldn't remember who Zebra was. Then he recalled that during a world hacking contest, there was someone who was really tough to beat, and that was Zebra. Chow explained why they were after Zebra, who had committed many crimes. He asked Lee Hao-ming to help by pretending to be Zebra's partner or Fei Qiao. Chow also warned that Zebra was definitely targeting Lee Hao-ming for his next mission. When Lee Hao-ming got back from the cosplay event, he checked his room and discovered a hidden camera. But it was too late because Fei Qiao had already hacked into his laptop and computer, putting him in danger. Because of this, Lee Hao-ming agreed to join the police and started getting ready, including doing physical tests and brain scans. He began working hard to improve his body, which had previously only been used for sitting and playing games. From time to time, Lee Hao-ming checked his phone, hoping for a reply from the cute girl, but she hadn't responded yet. He felt disappointed because instead of playing his favorite virtual games, he was stuck dealing with the police and being lied to by the girl. He even thought his phone might be broken because he couldn't send a reply. The next day, while Lee Hao-ming was working out, Cho told him about the people he would be facing, including Su Yi, whose background was unclear and was in the country illegally. Eventually, Lee Hao-ming became partners with Fei Qiao. After completing physical preparations, Lee Hao-ming took a brain test, and he was surprised when the cute girl finally asked him to meet at a hotel. Soon after, he went to the hotel and found the girl already there with Zebra, who was actually Fei Qiao. At that moment, Lee Hao-ming was given a laptop and told to hack a program in less than a minute. Su Yi even pointed a gun at Lee Hao-ming's head to make him hurry. But thankfully, Lee Hao-ming succeeded and they started working together. Next, they hacked PAPE, which had the strongest security against hackers. They found out they could bypass the security system using fingerprint and facial scanning. So, they came up with a plan. Su Yi disguised herself as a cake seller and used cakes with hidden cameras to get fingerprints. They'd also managed to capture faces using the cameras. With these, Lee Hao-ming easily hacked the security, causing panic among the team. After successfully hacking into PAPE, Fei Qiao demanded a ransom from them. That night, they celebrated their success by drinking together. But suddenly, Fei Qiao's attitude changed and he shot Lee Hao-ming. This shocked Lee Hao-ming, and he woke up from a brain test. It turned out it was all part of a psychiatric program. After all the tests were done, Cho gave them a device modified to communicate via Bluetooth. Even though Lee Hao-ming had gone through all the preparations, he still felt scared about the mission. While he was doubting himself in his room, Su Yi sneaked in and knocked him unconscious. Soon after, Lee Hao-ming woke up in a car on the way to Malaysia, confused about what was happening. Despite his confusion, he followed Fei Qiao and Su Yi's orders, even though he had just met them. He had to change his appearance to look like Fei Qiao and hand over his phone. Once in Malaysia, Lee Hao-ming felt excited when he spotted the newest comic book edition. He quickly entered the shop, but instead of buying comics, he secretly contacted the Shanghai police to let them know where he was. Thinking on his feet, Lee Hao-ming discreetly took children's cell phones to make the call. After leaving the bookstore, Lee Hao-ming and his two new partners went to an old room that they planned to use as their headquarters. The room had CCTV cameras that were always on. That night, the hacker team visited their boss, Takeshi Mori. At the meeting, Fei Qiao introduced Lee Hao-ming as his new partner. Nervous, Lee Hao-ming accidentally spilled a drink on Takeshi Mori's clothes, but Takeshi Mori didn't get angry and remained friendly. There, Lee Hao-ming made sure to tell Chow about this incident, feeling he was getting closer to the boss of their mission. As time went on, the hacker team, led by Fei Qiao, began planning her mission. They want to hack into the program using a worm virus before a press conference. This required careful planning. Fei Qiao even analyzed all the rooms in the Oasis office using miniature models. At that time, the mission started with observing the office activities. They noticed when Shinri, the CEO of Oasis, invited a computer expert to check the program's security. Then, a personal email was sent to the head of security, supposedly from Shinri, accepting the invitation. This email included Shinri's signature and fingerprint, which couldn't be faked because of security measures. With their plan set, they divided tasks to disrupt the communication network. Fei Qiao and Su Yi disguised themselves as invited guests, while Lee Hao-ming sneaked in to sabotage the machine. Shortly after, Fei Qiao and Su Yi entered undetected, using fake invitation letters. Then Fei Qiao communicated with Lee Hao-ming via walkie-talkie, instructing him to enter a code received in the programming room. They also shared a code to open the Oasis program system, which Fei Qiao manually inserted with the worm virus. During the press conference, Shinri introduced Oasis as a top program with reliable security for everyday use like navigation, transportation, and communication. Suddenly, they realized the system had been hacked, losing all their data. Suddenly, Shinri scolded two employees for not being vigilant in securing Oasis, and urged them to fix it quickly. Amid Shinri's frustration, Fei Qiao approached him and revealed that the Oasis system had been infected with the virus. He suggested selling Oasis to Takeshi Mori. Soon after, Fei Qiao pressured Shinri to accept the offer, and even suggested announcing on stage that Oasis was now collaborating with Takeshi Mori. Feeling pressured, Shinri returned to the stage and announced that Oasis had been acquired by Takeshi Mori, a well-known entrepreneur in Asia. Shortly after, Takeshi Mori joined him on stage and they shook hands, although Shinri seemed angry. After the successful mission, Takeshi Mori hosted a celebration party for his new business venture. He gave a speech, highlighting how beneficial Oasis would be for society under his ownership. But Takeshi Mori's cunning didn't end there. He asked his executive secretary to carry out another sneaky plan. Takeshi offered the secretary gold bars in exchange for convincing David Le, the president of the European Economic Forum, to arrange meetings with top CEOs who would fly out on private planes. Takeshi planned to hijack their plane. The secretary felt powerless to refuse Takeshi's orders. Meanwhile, Li Haoming continued to secretly inform the Shanghai police without Fei Cao and Sudi's knowledge. Suddenly, Sudi appeared and asked him to come out. At that moment, Li Haoming was surprised to find Fei Cao there, ready to celebrate his success and birthday. Besides the birthday celebration, Fei Cao even bought Li Haoming a comic book as a gift. Overjoyed, Li Haoming suggested they take a photo together. But their happiness was shattered by the news of Shinri's sudden death after announcing the sale of Oasis to Takeshi Mori. Upon hearing that, Fei Cao fell silent, deeply affected by the news. There, Li Haoming noticed Fei Cao's unusual silence and sensed that something bigger was going on. Then Fei Cao warned Li Haoming to leave immediately before getting into danger from Takeshi Mori. But unfortunately, their plans were interrupted by the unexpected arrival of Takeshi Mori. He ordered them to steal Oasis users' privacy within 12 hours, claiming it was still part of their mission. Fei Cao and Li Haoming refused this deceitful request. Their anger intensified when they discovered that Su Yi had been kidnapped by Takeshi Mori's people. Meanwhile, the CEOs that Takeshi Mori had convinced had already arrived in their private planes. Following Takeshi Mori's instructions, Fei Cao and Li Haoming handed over the programming as requested, hoping it would lead to Su Yi's release. However, Takeshi Mori refused to let Su Yi go, as the plan was still ongoing. Fei Cao and Li Haoming found themselves in a chaotic situation, fighting against Takeshi Mori's people to rescue Su Yi. Fortunately, Li Haoming's physical training finally came in handy as he had to engage in a fight. As Fei Cao and Su Yi faced danger, Li Haoming tried to find a way out using his cell phone. Eventually, they managed to escape the chaos. At that time, Li Haoming was concerned for Su Yi's injuries and suggested she see a doctor, but she insisted on driving on despite her condition. While Takeshi Mori completed the programming process, users automatically updated their operating systems. In the car, Fei Cao once again urged Li Haoming to meet with Chao, surprising Li Haoming because Fei Cao already knew about this. There he also told Su Yi to leave him after everything was resolved. It was then revealed that Fei Cao's true identity wasn't just any hacker, but an officer from the European police specializing in cybercrime, currently investigating Takeshi Mori's case. Then, after informing his superiors and requesting backup from the European police, Fei Cao planned to return to headquarters to ensure Oasis was clean of viruses for the operating system update. However, Su Yi felt betrayed by his deception and angrily kicked them out of the car. Returning to Takeshi Mori, he now had control over 4 CEOs who were on private planes. He arranged for the CEOs to be detained upon landing, preventing them from attending the meeting and giving him an opportunity to take advantage of the situation. Meanwhile, Fei Cao and Li Haoming broke into the network again to infiltrate the Oasis office and start fixing the program. They divided the tasks, with Li Haoming focusing on preventing people from successfully updating the infected Oasis operating system. At that time, Fei Cao discovered Takeshi Mori's location and coordinated with Li Haoming to complete the task. Fei Cao called a local agent to come to Takeshi Mori's location. However, Takeshi Mori was clever and hijacked the plane by deleting the flight records and path. He controlled the original control unit, making it difficult to detect. Worse still, Li Haoming and Fei Cao were discovered by Takeshi Mori's people. Soon after, they rushed to escape through a window in a tall building. Fortunately, Su Yi appeared to help them, although she remained indifferent and didn't want to talk. Aware of Takeshi Mori's plan to attend the meeting and return profits from the European Economic Forum, Li Haoming decided to go there. On the way, they were chased by Takeshi Mori's people, who started shooting at their car, sparking an intense chase through the streets. Thanks to Su Yi's skillful driving, they managed to escape and leave Takeshi Mori's people behind. However, Takeshi Mori then sped up and caused chaos on the road. Shortly after, Takeshi Mori emerged with a gun, shot Su Yi, and fled. At that time, Fei Cao felt deeply saddened and regretful seeing Su Yi injured. But when Su Yi closed her eyes, Fei Cao couldn't contain her anger and chased after Takeshi Mori. There, Li Haoming also pursued Takeshi Mori, leading to a dangerous chase where they ended up clinging to a moving train. Meanwhile, Takeshi Mori, who controlled transportation, manipulated the train's speed, causing harm to Lee Hao-ming and Fei Qiao. Despite this, the two men continued their pursuit, driven by anger. Takeshi Mori then pulled out a gun and shot them, causing them to fall. Feeling weak and drained of energy, Takeshi Mori finally passed out. Lee Hao-ming and Fei Qiao desperately tried to access Takeshi Mori's phone to stop the CEO's flight. However, they were blocked because it required face detection. Suddenly, Lee Hao-ming had an idea to put a mask on Takeshi Mori's face. This allowed them to unlock Takeshi Mori's phone, restoring control from his cunning manipulation. Shortly after, the police and medical teams arrived to clean up the chaos. At that time, Takeshi Mori was shot dead by the police. He was responsible for hijacking a plane and causing technical errors on Oasis, leading to traffic jams and chaos. There, Fei Qiao appeared saddened by Sudi's death, although he maintained his usual stoic expression. Lee Hao-ming also mourned and placed a photo of the three of them on Sudi's grave. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is if you're ever chased by bad guys, just wear a silly mask and you'll unlock all the secrets.